Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's fourth and final video. Going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's final video. So day 10 is going to take us to around the 12th of June. We're going to extend out beyond that. We're extended GFS and ECM ensembles. But it's around a couple of weeks. Have a look at the CFS V2 for the next 4 weeks, which is going to take us pretty much to the end of June. And I shall get on with that for you very shortly. Just say about the first video today was our nice little 7 AM upload. We also released Stormwatch. There can be some further storms around this afternoon and this evening. Check out Stormwatch to see where and when. And the USA forecast has been released as well as on Wednesday. Have a little look at the weather for the next few days in the United States. So check that one out if you would like to do that. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to say thank you so much to our super chatters from Sunday's live stream. So I did a live stream on Sunday and had a couple of super chats, and at the end of the stream I normally like to shout out super chats, but sometimes I forget. This is one of those weeks where the old grey matter, I am 43, so these things happen, the old grey matter sort of let me down, and I forgot to shout out the super chatters at the end of the live stream. So I'm so sorry about that, but I will give a shout out to the super chatters now. So thank you so much for your kindness and generosity to Matthew Orchard, and thank you so much for your kindness and generosity to Andy L. Thank you so much to Matthew and to Andy for the super chats on Sunday's live. I'm so sorry, but you know, I forgot at the end of Sunday's live stream, and that's me though. That's Gav getting a bit old now to remember everything. So thank you so much though to both of you, and yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Andy is also a channel member as well, so incredible. Thank you so much to Andy and to Matthew. We're going to be live streaming on Friday night, so Friday night live streams are returning this week. So they've been off for about 3 months, other than the one I did with Sav on Good Friday. I did that one, but other than that, other than Gav and Sav, there hasn't been a Friday night live stream for around 3 months. So we've been enjoying like a quiet Friday night. We're turning up the volume this week a little bit for you, and so Friday night streams are back from Friday, and also be live streaming on Sunday as well. As always, on Sunday, have our Sunday evening live stream at 6 o'clock. That will be following the premiere of the Winter 2021-2022 NEO forecast. We release at 2 PM as a premiere on Sunday afternoon, and then we'll do a live stream after that. So Sunday's going to be a very, very, very interesting day indeed. Anyway, thank you to Andy and to Matthew for super chats, and let's crack on then. So we're going to begin with the Central England temperature, the CET. Actually, I think I'm going to get rid of the webcam. You're not going to be able to see that, are you? So let's just get rid of the webcam. There we go. Right, so the CET, just confirmation of the CET for May. So May Central England temperature comes out at 10.1. Which is an anomaly of 1 degree below the 61 to 1990 average. That is comparable to April, which was at 6.4 and 1.5 degrees below average. So yes, it confirms, you know, that in April we had our coldest April since 1986, our coldest April for 35 years. And then we had our coldest May at 10.1 for 25 years since 1996. A couple of people have asked whether this April and May combination was the coldest for 80 years. Well, I did the video a couple of weeks ago where I said the April and May combination could be the coldest such April and May, you know, duo since 1941. And indeed, that is the case. Although May finished up around 0.3 of a degree higher than we was projecting at the time, nevertheless, April and May still come out as the coldest duo combination of April and May since 1941, which of course was 80 years ago. Absolutely incredible. Nobody would have envisaged that, you know, a few months ago, but we will have our coldest April and May for 80 years. And that was in the middle of like the trilogy of severely cold winters that we had in the early 1940s. We had 3 of them, 39, 40, 40, 41 and 41, 42, but the first 3 winters of the Second World War were extraordinarily cold, particularly so in January, and so that very cold spring of 1941 occurs right in the middle of that severe run of winters. So if you're having a severe run of winters, it does tend to pull the overall temperature down, you know, via blocking, but just carries on from the winter, particularly often into the spring. So I suspect the reason that the spring of 1941 was so cold was like a carry on from like the winter of 1940, 1941, which was a very, very cold winter within a very cold period overall. So the fact that we've done that this year without like being in like severe winter period is quite extraordinary, and nobody at all would have envisaged that we would have such an extremely cold couple of months for April and May. But look at June. What a difference for June. CT for June, provisional just yesterday, so only one day in. But CT for June is standing at 17.3, which is 4.5 degrees above average. And if we were to keep that going all month, that would actually be the hottest June on record, because I think the hottest June on record at the moment is 1976 at around 17.0. Although there might have been one actually thinking about it back in the 1800s that was hotter than that, but got an 18 Celsius CET. I have to check. We'll have a look at it on Saturday. Go back through June CET data. But certainly if we kept it at that level at 17.3, it would be like one of the hottest Junes on record anyway. So yeah, incredible, amazing, and what a flip around from April and May through to June. Absolutely remarkable what's happened there. It's been a very interesting year of weather so far. So we had a colder than average January. February and March were milder than average, quite significantly so. April and May, as we already established, coldest duo since 1941. And then June starting off extremely hot. So we should wait and see where it's all going to go next. But certainly it's keeping us on our toes, that's for sure. It looks like I'm going to be staying warm, certainly through the first half of June. We've been talking about this a lot in the videos lately. So, these are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. I'm looking at Northampton today. I'll look at my local town. So, for the red lines are 30-year upper air temperature average for Northampton. Obviously, we're above average at the moment. We're going to go even warmer over the next day or so. Then drop down a little bit later in the week, so it will turn a bit cooler and fresher on Friday into the weekend. But overall, you see it's staying above average. So, you know, the next week to 10 days, or maybe a couple of weeks, going to be solidly above average. So the warm spell that we have begun is set to continue. Not just going to be like a brief warm spell and then back to cold. This is going to go on for some time. So certainly the first half of June is going to be significantly warmer than average. Precipitation-wise, reasonable dry weather over the next day or two. Although there could be some thunderstorms, as I explained today, but they're more out west. Next week it looks a little bit showery, but these charts do tend to overdo the precipitation spikes a little bit. So my guess is that many places next week will be dry and warm. Temperature anomalies from the 2nd of temperature are going to be warmer than average. And precipitation anomalies are going to be drier than average from the 2nd through to the 10th of June. Latest wind flow map from earthnullschool.net shows that we're bringing in the wind from an east to southeasterly direction. So should be a lot of warm weather as the air is pulling in from off the continent. Those northerly winds that gave us such a cold time of it through April and May, they've been shoved off into the eastern side of Europe, running down from Russia into the Black Sea. Right, I've got UKMet today again, unfortunately. Still not updated since Monday. There we go, I'm back on webcam. Still not updated since Monday, but we'll start off with GFS Midnight Run. This is how it's looking. So Saturday, building up a ridge of high pressure from the southwest after a rather cooler day or fresher day on Friday. Probably back to quite warm weather on Saturday, but ridge is still there for England and Wales anyway on Sunday, a little bit showery in the north and in the northwest. Into next week, where we've got a ridge of high pressure extending up from the Azores into the south, but should bring a lot of dry and warm weather to southern areas. Northern, northwestern areas will get a little bit cooler and a little bit more changeable. Into the middle of next week, again, this high pressure builds up from the south, and that's going to turn us, again, mainly dry, away from the northwest anyway. There could be some showery bursts of rain, but most areas will be dry under that area of high pressure in the second half of next week, and temperatures will be quite warm as well, at least into mid-20s Celsius, I would have thought. Day 10, which is Saturday 12th of June, the high pressure just beginning to slip a little bit to our east, starting to pull up more of a southerly, that's a thundery low over France. That pushes northwards as like a trough into the weekend of the 12th, 13th of June. That might bring some thunderstorms around day 10, because it's a very long way off that. Then beyond that, we'll just keep the high pressure fest going, really, into the middle part of the month. So, yeah, we're high and dry, 1,030 millibar high pressure just to our north-northwest. So, fine weather is maintained. A little bit more of a northeasterly wind there. Could be a bit cooler and fresher, but generally, like, it's a very warm to probably quite hot scene, going up to, like, the end of the GFS midnight run, which gets us to the 18th of June. That high pressure is in there over northern Scotland. These are kind of like charts you get with classic hot summers. It is early days on this, so sometimes you will get a June that is very anticyclonic, and then it'll break down and turn cooler and more unsettled from July onwards, and we call those summers front-loaded summers, where the fine weather and the heat of the dry weather is all in the front part of summer in June. And then it slips away. But if we were to keep these charts going, you know, through July and into August, then things would start getting a lot hotter as well, because you know, in June the temperature tends to be pegged back a little bit due to that the seas are still quite cool left over from the winter, and particularly this year from the spring, because it's had quite a cold spring. So it will take a while to warm things up, but if we was to keep these stationary areas of high pressure persisting into July and into August, then we will be talking about a classic hot, dry summer. But of course, it's very early days. We're only 2 days into the summer at this point, so I've got to wait and see, you know, where things are looking by the time we get to the middle of July. This is how the GFS 6Z is looking. So, again, this is the very latest. Again, the ridge building up from the southwest on Saturday should bring a lot of dry and fine weather. Every weekend into next week, we'll have high pressure sitting to our south and to our east. Low pressure just out to the northwest, bringing some showery bursts into the northwest, but a lot of dry weather through the course of next week. Moving up towards day 10, again, we have this high pressure, more or less stationary, over top of the country. So, I mean, we're high and dry, should be loads of dry and warm weather in with that too. Now, in the more extended range, we just start to nibble away at the high pressure from the Atlantic a little bit. So this is a bit of a change of a 6 compared to midnight run. It's not particularly unsettled, but it is a little bit cooler, and you can see the difference. It just has a slightly more unsettled look, unsettled flavour to it, you know, into the second half of June there with 6Z compared to, like, the midnight run. That's how the midnight run finishes up. Obviously, a big area of high pressure sitting almost over top of the country, whereas the 6Z ends up looking... It's not particularly unsettled, but it does look a little bit more unsettled, a little bit cooler, and just rather more unsettled flavour there. But it's all like 2 weeks away, so obviously you will get differing options at that kind of time frame anyway. GM looks like that. So again, ridge of high pressure dominating the weather as we go through the weekend and into next week. Should be loads of dry. In fact, the high pressure strengthens through next week. So not much more to say about the GM other than it is, you know, through next week, high pressure all the way, will be very warm, will be very dry, and yeah, that's about all you can say about that. Lots of sunshine. Very summery. ECM looks like this. So again, the high pressure ridge is in from the southwest on Saturday. And then we get this high pressure extending in from the southwest into the early part of next week. Then the high pressure strengthens through the country through next week. So there we are, end of next week. 1,025 millibar area of high pressure right over top of the country, keeping us dry and fine. And up to day 10, which is the 12th of June, again, the high pressure dominates the weather, sitting over the country, pulling in a lot of warm to hot air from the east. So there's not much more to say about model output today, other than it's high pressure all the way, pretty much up to day 10. Right, this is how the precipitation type forecast looks based on that ECM run from Tometeo.com. So here we go with this then. Yeah, we're going to be seeing lots of, we're going to be seeing some showers, a lot of dry weather, but some showers into west and southwest light for the rest of today and into tomorrow. They might contain thunderstorms as well, and then they trundle off northwards as we go through tonight and tomorrow. More showers later tomorrow into Friday in east areas. They don't look particularly thundery, but there could be some heavy ones in there as well. More sort of plaguing the far southeastern corner as well as we go from Friday into Saturday. Then showers are mainly in the west later on into the weekend, and then next week the emphasis as high pressure takes over is on increasingly dry weather through many parts of the country under that big area of high pressure. Right, turn the webcam off just for a couple of minutes. This is your option table within the ensembles today for day 10, which will get us to the 12th of June. 51 out of 51 members of the ECM ensembles have this area of high pressure over top of the country. So all ECM ensemble members are looking dry and potentially very warm as we get to day 10. Operation Run is well supported by its ensembles today. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This gets to the 17th of May. 13 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure over, slightly to the north of the country, going to be mainly dry of that one. 10 have high pressure just to the north of Scotland. Around that high pressure comes an easterly wind. That's going to be mainly dry. Could be a little bit cooler with those easterly winds, but, you know, high and dry. 10 have high pressure just to our south, low pressure to the north. That will be a little bit more unsettled for the north, but should be mainly dry, quite warm in the south. And number 10 just here, again with high pressure to the north, low pressure to the south. In come those easterly winds. That might be threatening some heavy showers or thunderstorms into the south, that option. And then 8 just here with high pressure to our southwest, low pressure way to the northeast. That's going to be a little bit cooler with winds in from the northwest, but again, should be a lot of dry weather with that. And so, you know, up to 2 weeks out, the ECL ensembles are definitely favouring high pressure to be the major player of the weather anyway. We could be heading for a very dry and also notably warm tune here. Let's have a look at Ceres V2. These are 500, excuse me, these are 500 millibar highs broken down into week periods. The first week period takes from a 7th, from a 2nd, I should say, through to the 8th of June. The coming week will have high pressure to our north-northeast. Winds will be coming in from a southeasterly direction. Going to be mainly dry and very warm with that. Week 2 is going to take us from the 9th through to the 15th of June. Again, with high pressure just to our north, winds in from the east, going to be mainly dry. And again, you would have thought really quite warm with in that week with that scenario. Week 3 will be the 16th to the 22nd of June. High pressure beginning to weaken, still there to our northeast a little bit, but starting to weaken. This might be a little bit of a breakdown being signalled. And then week 4 looks like we have got a bit of a breakdown going on. This is the 23rd, 29th of June. Low pressure then is in around Iceland. High pressure slipping to our south-southwest. And so we start to bring in much more of a westerly type flow, which would be cooler and certainly for the north would be more unsettled. That's a long way off, 4 weeks away, and up to the middle of June anyway. It is looking mainly dry and very warm. Right, if you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing this. The GavsWeatherVids, tell friends, family, everybody else who subscribe. That's great. Thank you so much. And drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And we're done for today's vids. So you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And we'll see you tomorrow. We'll start off with 7 AM upload. We'll have a European Outlook tomorrow. Probably do the June forecast as well. I would have thought tomorrow. Try and get that done for you. And also, of course, a 10 to 14 dayer, as always. For today's video, so that's all for now. And thanks for watching.